Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific, on this Tuesday evening. I was given an update today by one of my viewers who sent me an email showing me some interesting stuff. We're going to include the link in this video so that my viewers can see this. And I'm going to say some very harsh but true things. First of all, I'm going to read you an article from the Washington Post that was posted today through MSN News on internet. I want to read you this article. Then I'm going to talk about a little boy that has not grown up and become a man. And before I talk about that little boy who has not become a man, the reason I'm calling him a little boy who's not become a man is because his girlfriend broke up with him. And what he did on Encyclopedia Dramatica against me was ridiculous beyond words, but it was just brought to my attention today that he's made 2 pages. One against Pacific Ocean Asia and one against Kimberly. We're going to talk a little bit about what he's done with his page, Kimberly, that when Pacific has talked about his ex-wives and he's talked about the stuff that girls have done to him, it's always been factual. He gets into racism, makes accusations, implies that his ex-girlfriend has bestiality, sex with animals, and I read this site, and he takes what I say about women worshiping animals, being obsessed with pets, and he takes that and goes way above and beyond anything I've ever even remotely said. That's not a man, viewers, and I'm going to put the page out here for you all to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he suddenly pulls it and it disappears. But since he has attacked me, since I have been in my own Pearl Harbor, so to speak, with my ships in my dock, and he's done a flyover and tried to pummel the crap out of my decks, yes, I'm fighting back. And when I say fighting back, I'm going to be speaking out when I see this stuff revealed to me, and I'm going to call it out. That's what I mean by fighting back. Now, let me read you an article that's very interesting that talks about all of this kind of stuff. Okay? This is an article that appeared today. Washington Post, online troll destroys a family's offline life. Sharon and Richard Moreno were awakened by a phone call from a police negotiator around 2:30 a.m. one night last May. He told them to get out of their home immediately and leave their adult son behind. Officers with rifles greeted the couple on the front lawn in Sterling, Virginia, and tackled their son William on the front porch. Or on the porch. They had been drawn by a chilling post attributed to William on a popular local web forum. I just shot my parents, now I will kill my sister. I want to say something about the internet. Any internet that allows this kind of crap. I tell you what, I'm against censorship to some degree, but that kind of censorship needs to be in place. Those sites need to be shut down. The Morenos say in a lawsuit that the post was a hoax, part of an unrelenting campaign of harassment by trolls on the forum, Fairfax Underground, that turned their lives upside down and drove William to attempt suicide. Science, there's a little indent here, and I'm not going to click on it right now. Science reveals what makes trolls so nasty. Maybe we'll see if we can pull that up in a minute. Trolls are the bane of online forums, games, and comment sections, sowing discord with inflammatory remarks and needling other users for laughs. Most are content to cause trouble on the web, but in the Moreno's case, the lawsuit says the attacks made the unusual leap from cyberspace to the real world. Malevolent trolling has raised increasing concern in recent years. RIP trolls, rest in peace trolls, deface Facebook memorial pages to dead children. The white supremacist site Daily Stormer has deployed a troll army to target a Jewish British politician and a Muslim activist in Australia. And angry trolls viciously attacked a video game designer and other women at the center of the much-publicized Gamergate saga, sending them dozens of death and rape threats and promising a mass shooting at a speaking event. I'm going to say something to my viewers, and I'm going to be very clear. Trolls are satanic little idiots. And the people that engage in this behavior, you want to talk about antisocial, you want to talk about mentally disturbed, you want to talk about people who walk in darkness. This is describing them to a T. That would include Lore Master. Many sites are trying to tame the problem. Twitter has rolled out lists of troll accounts users can share, and YouTube revamped its comment moderation to play down trolling. Some sites, like Popular Science, have done away with comments altogether. Fairfax Underground was founded on the idea of creating a zone of unfettered free speech on local issues, but idealism has sometimes given way to a darker reality. Trolling on the forum has resulted in a criminal conviction, a bomb scare, reports of stalking, and more. Encyclopedia Dramatica is going to end up getting their butts in a sling too eventually, trust me, because watchdog groups are keeping an eye on this stuff. That's my commentary. The Moreno's lawsuit claims that Williams was accused of rape on the forum and mass bombing threats were posted under his name. His parents' house was vandalized, he received death threats, his car was broken, and doing his mother's job was put in jeopardy. A Fairfax Underground user swore out a charge against William that he called false. He was acquitted in court. It was a reign of terror, said William, 32 years old. It's often difficult to know who is carrying out the harassment because most Fairfax Underground users are anonymous. And I'm going to say something, viewers. The reason these people are anonymous and don't give their real names and addresses is because they know that there are enough retaliatory vigilante people out there that would take them to the cleaners. I'm going to say it again. Online trolls are cowards, chickens, and they're highly insecure, and they will not show their face or give their first and last name. Meanwhile, Loremaster posts first and last names of myself and his ex-girlfriend, complete with middle name, and dogs her, and what I call this is internet harassment of the highest order. This is not a man. This is a disturbed individual who has never grown up, who is acting no different than the junior high students I haul on school buses all day. And by the way, I have also already had chats with necessary people on high and said, I have some trolls. Don't be surprised if you get some phone calls from these idiots trying to cause trouble. The bosses laughed and said, oh, we know all about it. We know who you are, and that's all that matters. Let's see. Underground users are anonymous, but the Moreno family filed suit in Fairfax County against a Richmond area user named Michael Joseph Basel, known on the forum as Ish, and a second user whose identity is unknown in a separate case this month. Basel was convicted of posting explicit photos of a woman to the site. He is appealing the case. In an interview, Basel denied posting the threats that led police to the Moreno's home, and he called the lawsuit frivolous. He said William Moreno and other users have a grudge against him. I'm not responsible for the vast majority of the stuff in the lawsuit, Basel said. They make me out like I'm a sinister person. I am not. Whatever, dude. You're on a stupid underground site where everybody can hide. However, a fellow Fairfax Underground user testified in court this year that Basel told her he was behind some of the attacks on the Morenos, including the swatting incident, or falsely summoning a police tactical team. Basel testified that her account was untrue. He said, I did it so that Moreno could make a wrong move and get shot and killed by the police. Monique Wells told a judge, wow, that's nice. He admits right there he wanted one of the family members killed. This is Ish. William Moreno logged onto his email in March 2012 to find a strange message. At the time, he was a student at Virginia Commonwealth University. Hello, Mr. Misery. This is Ish. It read, according to the lawsuit, you do understand your drama on Fairfax Underground will get you expelled from VCU, right? Talk to you later, William Moreno. The salvo was the opening of a 2-year campaign against Moreno and his family. William said the message struck him like a bolt because he had never revealed his email address, that he was Mr. Misery on Fairfax Underground, or that he attended VCU. Someone was tracking him. William Moreno said he discovered Fairfax Underground 3 years earlier. He has a mild form of autism and suffers from major depression. His parents said a web forum was a natural fit for someone who finds it painful to socialize in the real world. Sadly, a lot of trolls are misfits in real life, and they get on and just use it as a tool for meanness, while Pacific tries to reach people and tries to be a forum of some positive spiritual and mental health, and drawing people in who know that this world is a crazy place for all of us. But these trolls are bad news, folks. Mr. Misery displayed quirky humor, but also contributed offensive comments about child molestation in the September 11th, 2001 attacks. Moreno said those posts were not serious, but he earned the ire of some users. Fairfax Underground is a freewheeling digital water cooler where more than 1.5 million users with screen names like Frisky Dingo discuss everything from teacher salaries to pornography. The site is a deep well of information about Northern Virginia, and its users have broken news, but conversation is often raw and laced with racism, sexism, personal attacks, and bogus claims. When you run an online forum, you are no longer totally in control, said Carrie Wiedemann, who founded the site in 2004. Fairfax Underground has taken on a life of its own. Michelle Drouin, an Indiana University psychology professor who studies technology, said the anonymity and connectivity of the internet have created a sadist playground. I'm going to turn on the light. It's getting dark. People that want to distress other people can now do it in the comfort of their own home, Drouin said. It has less repercussions than harassment offline, and the internet allows for this emotional distance between the harasser and the victim. Why do you think Lore Master and some of these people do what they do? Because they're emotionally and mentally disturbed, people. And we're going to reveal that out. And I'm telling you today, I'm going to post that link, and if you click on it and you can't get into it, you can well bet he took it down. But I want you to see what he did to his ex-girlfriend, making implications. And based on what he put in the page against me, I know that this stuff isn't true. And Kimberly, if you by chance stumble onto my video, I want to tell you I'm sorry for what you're going through, and I'm glad you dumped his sorry ass. That needs to be said. I don't know who you are. I know nothing about you. But to see a guy make a web page with your first, middle, and last name and do that stuff, that's not a man. And thank God you didn't get closer to him, and he might have ended up dumping you in a ditch somewhere. I want to tell you that I feel for you, that I've talked about my ex-girlfriends and ex-wives, but I've always tried to be factual. I have never accused them of things that they haven't done. I have never made a page with their first, middle, and last name and the places that they went to school and stuff like that. And I mean, this ex-boyfriend of yours, you want to talk about sour grapes and butthurt, there it is. Just want you to know, Kimberly, he's been dogging me too, and he's not a good human being. We're praying for him that he'll get his eyes opened up, but I really doubt that that's going to happen anytime soon. But know this, Pacific Ocean Asia is your ally because we both have a common enemy at this point. Mr. Misery was banned from the forum in January 2012 for flooding it with messages, but William Moreno continued to post under other usernames. A couple of months after the ban, the lawsuit says Moreno received the email that referenced VCU. Ish threatened to take Moreno's post to school officials. Oh, I wish I could know where Lore Master works, and I wish I knew his parents' address and phone number, because I would give them a call and say, do you know what your son is doing? I know he's an adult, but do you know the kind of stuff he's doing online? And what's funny is I like him quoting scripture verses. That just kills me. You have no right to quote scripture, Lore. You cannot use the sword of God. You're not qualified. Basil has testified in court that his username is Ish and admitted in response to the Moreno's lawsuit that he sent the email. Basil also admitted that he placed a note on Williams' windshield to deter him from using Fairfax Underground. I will show you no quarter. Ish is one of the most prolific posters on the forum, and the other users described him as flamboyant and self-appointed sheriff of the site. Basil, 34, said he is a military veteran and a community college student, but declined to offer other personal details, of course. The harassment began to escalate in December 2013. According to the lawsuit, someone broke into the Moreno's home while they were away and flooded the basement. The lawsuit says Ish posted a message the same day saying he was coming to Sterling to see William Moreno. Basil denies any role in the vandalism. Despite the break-in, the online harassment remained unknown to William's parents until Sharon Moreno said she was going through a security clearance review for a job as an intelligence contractor. Sharon Moreno recalled becoming increasingly puzzled as an investigator asked her about a party she could not remember. Finally, the woman told her to look at Fairfax Underground. Sharon Moreno said her jaw dropped. She said someone purporting to be a 13-year-old girl wrote in a message that William had raped her during a party at the family's home. The Morenos say the post was another hoax. Sharon Moreno was required to undergo a polygraph test, but she said she was so anxious about the post that she could not complete it. She eventually got her security clearance renewed. By mid-2014, William Moreno said he was growing increasingly despondent about the online attacks. While the family was preparing dinner one night, he took a kitchen knife and attempted to slit his wrist. He was rushed to the hospital. The harassment only increased in October 2014, the lawsuit says. A picture of Basil pointing a revolver at the viewer was posted along with a message. "You can run, but you can't hide, Ms." Basil denies making the post. Messages appeared on the forum saying that William wanted to carry out attacks with pipe bombs and he had raped a VCU student, according to the lawsuit. A post showed up under his father's name saying he'd witnessed William molesting his sister. Then an anonymous poster threatened to ruin William's reputation in Google search results. "I will show you no quarter. Your parents are old and defenseless," the message read. According to the lawsuit, Moreno said Google searches for his name began to turn up references to pedophilia. The Morenos filed their lawsuit in January. Less than a week after he was served, Basil went to a magistrate and swore out a charge against William Moreno. At trial in April, Basil testified that Moreno had made death threats against him in phone calls and informed messages, but Monique Wells, another Fairfax Underground user, testified that Basil admitted to her that he had sent the death threats to himself. He was proud of it, Wells said. A judge acquitted Moreno. Both Moreno and his mother have sought counseling. He keeps saying over and over again, "Our lives are ruined," Sharon Moreno said of her son. Wow. So let's go back up here and see if we can find out what science has to say as to why trolls do what they do. Because you know what? The only thing we can do is shout truth from the rooftops. Science reveals what makes trolls so nasty. Let's see what we find here. Here we go. Wow, look at this. It's got a graph. There's non-commentator. There's debating issues, there's chatting, there's trolling. Trolling is the highest. It shows psychopathy, direct sadism, vicarious sadism, all in color codes. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, I'm not sure what that is, but the graph are really high in the, let's see, debating issues. This is unbelievable, but the troll stuff is off the charts. And I find it interesting that they call them narcissists, Machiavellists. And why do trolls troll? This, by the way, is in Washington Post. Anyone who spent time on the web has probably wondered in exasperation what motivates people to spew venom and wreak havoc in seemingly every forum and comment section. Science has begun to provide a few answers. A 2014 University of Manitoba study was the first to attempt to create a personality profile of trolls. Researchers surveyed hundreds of internet users and gave them personality tests. Let's make sure my cam is working. Okay, we're good. What a minute. Okay, hold on. Most respondents said they liked to do benign things online, such as chatting and debating issues, but 5.6% reported they enjoyed trolling. The personality tests for this group were striking. People who enjoyed trolling had a much higher rate of dark traits such as sadism, narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism, so much so that it might be said that online trolls are prototypical everyday sadists, the authors concluded. Remember that, folks, when these people are saying that I'm full of narcissism, I'm not the one trolling. I'm not. It's unbelievable. The people that are trolling me, this is what this article is talking about, is them. The study also found a correlation between enjoyment of trolling and the amount of time a person spent commenting online, perhaps explaining why so many corners of the internet seem overrun by trolls. Do you see that? Too much time on my hands. Yeah, you might want to listen to the Styx song. A 2013 George Mason University study found that trolls are not just annoying to their victims, their actions can influence the way innocent bystanders perceive and receive information online. The researchers asked nearly 1,200 people to respond to two versions of a blog post on the risks and benefit of nanotechnology. One had more civil comments appended, while the second had ruder and more aggressive comments. The researchers found that reading the latter selection had a polarizing effect on respondents. Readers who thought nanotechnology was safe became more entrenched in their position, and the same was true for people on the other side of the debate. By now, there are probably a few trolling comments on this story, too. Okay, so, smoking gun. Loremaster criticizes Kimberly, attacks her artwork, attacks everything, and says that she can't speak very well, or something like that in the opening stanzas, and says she's not retarded, she's Japanese. I look at her pictures, I don't see Japanese in her. If she does have Japanese blood, that has nothing to do with anything. Loremaster is a vilified racist. He's full of hatred, full of rage, full of anger. He's admitted himself he doesn't want to die alone, and yet he goes and does stuff like this. And as far as true forced loneliness goes, this guy is truly forcing loneliness upon himself and driving people away. He has taken the deepest subway ride down beneath the sewers, beneath the underbelly of New York City, way down where the rats live, and then he wonders why he's going to die alone. I'm sorry, but Pacific doesn't ride in the sewers where you ride, pal. You're rude to your ex-girlfriend. You went above and beyond saying, I didn't like my experience with my ex-girlfriend because this, and this happened. You go above and beyond that to demonize this woman, and you are inhumane in your treatment of her. I have never been inhumane in my assessment of American women. When I saw a woman got beat up in front of my school bus, I wanted to get, but I had a child on board, a student, junior high, and I wanted to get out and grab my tire thumping stick and say, you get your hands off of that girl or it's going to come down in your head. It was there. And even though I pulled my driver's window right up to them, it didn't deter the idiot. Unbelievable. I called in dispatch, called the police. I don't like violence to women. I don't like anything that promotes violence to women. Loremaster puts right on there. He calls people to harass her. I'm paraphrasing because there's something screen blaster or something. He calls out her YouTube channel, calls out and calls on his little army of demonic forces to just blitz that woman. What is the difference between that and junior high kids when somebody who's a little less than comes out into the gym? Nothing at all. I could care less at this point what Loremaster has to say. His credibility is all the way at the bottom of the toilet to begin with. He doesn't tell the truth. He's racist. He's homophobic. He's anti-God. He's anti-anybody who's nice. Says, I'm going to die alone, and rubs that in. I'm going to tell you something, man. That is not true. I'm going to die with Christ. He's in me. And there are women that are interested in me, Loremaster. They're slender, and they have long hair, and they're pretty. And some of them have short hair, and they're pretty. And you know what? I've asked you to stop. I've asked you to grow the F up, and you can't, and you won't. You're on a site that is a classic troll haven. I just read you an article about a family destroyed by trolls. So any Christian nonsense you want to throw at me that I haven't done this or done that, never do I do anything that calls for harm, vandalism, or damage to somebody, and you are promoting it at all levels. You are making veiled threats. You are making an environment that could bring trouble to me, to your ex-girlfriend. I will tell you something that my friends on YouTube have all said it. It's too bad we couldn't get him in an arena, us against him. Physical. All of us say, all right, put up your dukes, doughboy. I don't threaten people. I'm no threat to you, but you are becoming a threat. And just be aware that there's cases in court and there's things being tried, and the internet is being watched more and more and more, and you are crossing lines, buddy. Keep doing it. Keep pushing that envelope, and one day you'll step over a line and that legal mousetrap will go. And I'll tell you what, so help me God, if anything happens to me involving me and I get your butt in court, I'll visit your jail cell and I'll laugh my ass off. And I will get all my friends to come with me and say, there's the dude. You better get your act straightened out. You better stop being a little sadist and a little narcissist. And you better get over your butthurt that a girl was wise enough to dump your sorry ass and get away from your drunken stupor and your weight-gaining binge that you're on and your rude hatefulness. You're not a man, dude. You couldn't do the job I do. I'll bet money on the table you couldn't do it. You wouldn't get along with the guys I work with. They wouldn't put up with your garbage. They'd call you out. And they'd wrap you up in a frickin' candy wrapper and send you on your way. You think I'm joking? Look at what you did to your ex-girlfriend. I tell you what, you keep doing stuff like that and she dates a guy who really loves her, and he sees that stuff, wow. I tell you what, if I'm married to a woman and you start saying crap like that about her, you're danger. You're in danger when you do stuff like that. Because you know what? I can take the bull crap you say about me, but you attack my woman, you attack somebody else's woman, you're playing with fire, kiddo. You might want to knock it off. You might want to grow up and get some maturity under your belt and go get a freaking job and go get a life and get off the internet. You're spending way too much time here. You fired these salvos. You fired these missiles and you keep doing it. Well, I'm going to speak up the truth and I'm going to be bold and I'm going to say the message to all my fans and everybody that even somebody in my camp wrote me and said the video with you, the baby crying in the background is funny. You know what? I'm not malicious like you are. I'm not going to make a page making up stuff about you because I can't live with my conscience. You, on the other hand, don't have one. It's okay to be upset that things didn't work out with you and your woman, but to make a page like that against her, grow up, little baby boy. Grab your binky. Sheesh, do you need a breast to suck on? Your mom's? I wish I knew your mom and dad. I wish so bad I knew where they lived. I would send them a letter and say, you need to be aware that this kid of yours is doing. I know you're not responsible. He's an adult, but you might want to be aware of his dark side and what he's doing in the underground world of the internet. If I knew your employer, if I knew your pastor, if I knew the police in your town, I would tell them. You can call the police here. You can call anybody, and they're not going to buy it. You're a troublemaker. You're a destroyer. You're vandalistic. You're just trying to deface and harm people. You're no different than a graffiti artist running up when businesses close down at night and all the lights go out and going shh all over. That's all you are. You're an internet graffiti man. A punk. A loser. And oh yes, I'd love to see you get saved, but the more I watch what you're doing, you're just diabolical. One of these days, you're going to wake up and see that you're playing right into the hands of the devil, and the devil's going to laugh at you and go, you loser, you did all this stuff and you thought you were so cool. Guess where you're going? You make a page against your woman? I haven't even done that. I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't risk the legalities, my friend. 1. And 2, I'm not going to make a page defaming my ex-wife. Oh, I've said about the struggles. I've said about the things she's done. I have every right to do that. But you're saying stuff that's just way or lying, exaggerating, dramatica. You just don't want to stand up and be a man, do you? Real men don't do that, Lore Master. Real men don't do that. I've been dumped by some girls way back. I cried. But I didn't go demonize her. She broke up with me because I wouldn't become Catholic. But I was hurt. I was really into her. But you? Dogging her, stalking her, harassing her. Don't call yourself a man. Please. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I read the article, dude. You might want to wake up. Is this your whole focus? To be a little sadist, narcissist, Machiavellinist, whatever that is? Read the description of online trolls. That's what you're doing. And that goes for all my other trolls out there. You guys are just sadists. You're messed up. Laugh, mock. God's going to have the last laugh, not you. God's going to have the last word, not you. Everyone will give an account of his life to God. It says every idle word. Did you know that means all the crap you type online? That goes for me. That goes for all of us. You say something you're not supposed to say. You start putting people down in a way that's not right. You're going to be held accountable for that. It says in the Bible, every idle word. I mean, I'm guilty. Oh, that guy's a stupid. I got to catch myself. Should I be saying that? It's okay to say, boy, that was a dumb move. But should I be calling somebody stupid? Probably not. But you take it to levels that are just totally disrespecting and wrong. You're not a man, dude. You're not a man. I worked my butt off today. And you know what? People respect me because I worked my butt off. You can say all the trash you want about me, buddy. But I'm going to tell you something. My work reputation precedes me. Yours doesn't. My references are outstanding. I pass background checks. You sit here in the underbelly making your rude little lying, horrible comments. Ridiculous. Wow, man. Stifle it. For you to dog your ex-girlfriend like that is really telling of what you are. You want to keep going around with me? You want to keep inciting all kinds of hate against me? And you said that your goal was to pull away all my viewers. It hasn't worked yet, dude. You've been on this for over a year. When are you going to wake up? The definition of insanity, according to Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It isn't working, dude. The people that follow my channel are not into people like you with your twisted, demented dark side. They're not into that. The people that are into my channel are real people that want to better themselves. You don't want to better yourself. Get a job. Buy a house. Go remodel a place. Go work on a car. Find something to do, little boy. I'm serious. Your behavior is evident that you have filled your diaper and we all got to smell it. I can't change your diaper. You're going to have to change it yourself. Because you're sure making a stink, buddy. You're acting out. You're acting like a baby on the internet. Change your frickin' Pampers and grow up. Move up to pull-ups. Get rid of the diaper. Put on a pair of big boy pants and grow up. I read little bits of that page against your ex. That is totally off the wall. And what does science say? You're the narcissist. You're the sadist. You're the projector. All the stuff you're accusing me of is everything you're guilty of times 1,000. Hypocrite is your middle name. This is Pacific signing off.